Hi, I'm Terra and welcome back to REVIEWNIFORMS. Yay! The channel where I react, rant, rave, and review uniforms from all walks of life from all over the world. So if you want to hear what I've got to say about some cool uniforms or some not so cool uniforms, then keep on watching. All right, guys, let's see what you've got for me.
These men and women are some of the newest members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, also known as the Mounties. The RCMP is Canada's federal police force, known worldwide for their iconic scarlet tunics.
This scarlet tunic, this jacket, I didn't know they called it a tunic, but this jacket, yes, recognized all over the world. When you see this uniform, you know it's the Canadian Mounties. So I am very excited. I know a few things about this uniform because it's always been one of my favorites, but I'm excited to see some more details. Yee, let's do it.
Referred to as the Red Serge. Each cadet gets fitted for their tunic about halfway through their 26-week training program.
Dang, that's a long time.
Damn!
26-week training program. So I think a lot of us were introduced first to the Canadian Mountie uniform by like Dudley Do-Right, which is, he's anything but a do-right. But I think that we know that the Canadian Mounted Police is a real police force and they're not slapstick idiots. So I can see why they've got so much training. Wow. All right, let's see some more.
It's a really exciting moment. It makes you very proud to be here.
When you put it on, you feel pride.
The Red Serge is worn at ceremonial events. It's part of what's known as the kit that's issued to the 1,000 cadets that graduate from the RCMP Training Academy each year.
The uniform really consists of the hat, the Canadian Mounted hat. I'm sure they're going to get into more details, but it's the pants I want to talk about. So these are called jodhpurs, and that is the pant that you see that goes straight and then goes like a pear and then gets tighter down at the ankles. Really, they're wearing it for looks, I'm sure, but the reason that those were created at first, you know, fabrics were very stiff back in the day. We didn't have lycras and spandex, etc. So the jodhpurs were to make more room for your legs when you get in the saddle. And so that's why you'll see a lot of the pants for riding back in the day having a shape that goes straight and then out for the hips where you would spread and sit on the horse, and then they go back down the center. Now, we don't wear those anymore because pants have been evolved to have different fabrics that can definitely be more comfortable and stretch. But I think it's kind of cute that they're leaving the tradition of having the jodhpurs because, I mean, no one really has that, right?
Along with the tunic, the uniform includes trousers known as breeches, a Stetson hat, a Sam Brown belt, and a pair of high leather Strathcona boots.
Okay, so I'm backtracking a little bit. They called the pants breeches, and yes, they are called breeches, but I wanted you to know the technical name of how that pant is shaped. So I'm just giving you, you know, my little uniform expertise, little factoids, little nuggets. Uniform facts. Breeches, jodhpurs, same.
Pair of high leather Strathcona boots. The tunics are made by a company in Quebec before being shipped here to the RCMP Academy in Regina, Saskatchewan. They're made of wool and include a satin lining.
So I can tell you, made of wool and a satin lining. Now, we're not talking about the world's most comfortable fabrics, but damn, can you see how rich and beautiful they take the color and they look? This isn't the world's most comfortable combo, but it definitely looks sharp.
Right now, they're not as comfortable as you would think, but they are custom made primarily for the look. So they're not going to be as functional to do your everyday kind of job in them.
I love that he admitted that. That's what I was just talking about. He said that it's not the most comfortable to fight a war in or to get in some kind of battle in, but it looks amazing. And you know what? Sometimes, especially when it comes to a uniform, it really is about the look. And you know, beauty is pain. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you feel if you look freaking great. You know, at least everyone around you gets to enjoy the look even if you don't feel your best. So do it for the world. Thank you for coming to my Terra Talk.
Here at the Academy, a team of 20 tailors perform all the alterations for each cadet.
About 8 of them are custom tailors and the rest are general tailors.
And general tailors usually do the pants and the breeches, and the custom tailors are the one that does the red tunic.
You guys, if you look here, you can see they are seam ripping, they are stitching. There is a ton of handiwork and intricate sewing that goes into these uniforms. They are really going all out to make sure that the Canadian Mounties look completely crisp from top to bottom. I love it. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of little things that you guys may not notice, but a lot of blind hemming and French seams, things that really are sewing techniques that make a garment look incredible. I can tell they're including in here. So you may not see them to the naked eye, but for the overall fit, wait a minute. Designer's kiss, yes.
We take them apart, we put them together, and do the alterations.
Alterations for each tunic can take up to 2 days. According to the RCMP, the total cost of each cadet's uniform, including the red Serge and their normal duty clothing, comes out to about 4,500 Canadian dollars.
Damn, that's expensive. That's very expensive. Yeah, guys, this is a very expensive uniform. Look at it. I mean, talk about worth it. This thing is quality.
And about $500 of that cost is for the boots.
The boots. I have a love for boots that is unmatched, and these boots are so freaking gorgeous. Yes, tell us. I want more information about these boots.
Each pair is handcrafted by the Alberta Boot Company before being sent to the leather shop at the RCMP Academy.
You guys, I've always been fascinated by boot making, and one of the reasons is because, as you can see here, they're still made in a very primitive way. I mean, they're made with soaking the leathers, dyeing the leathers, and then shaping them with an actual wooden foot, you know, customized to each person. And then they adjust the width with shims. I mean, wooden shims that are knocked in by hand. So, I mean, just the fact that quality boot making is still being done this way in this day, it just brings tingles to my spine. Tingles all over. Love it!
Where each pair is custom fit to each cadet.
We do up to 32 pairs of boots in a week. And then they're issued to the cadet and they begin to do the arduous task of putting 20 to 40 different coats of polish on them so that they no longer look one dimensional.
20 to 40 coats of polish. That takes a long time. I don't know if you've ever polished a shoe, but just imagine a long boot of polishing it that much. I mean, let's see what the dealio is with that.
And all that's happening is we're filling in the pores. So we would do about 20 coats of these. One of the tricks we do though is we take pantyhose. You put an old pair of socks in there, and it's kind of like when you sand your car. You start off with coarse grit and go to a finer grit, and these pantyhose are actually a little bit finer grit, and we'd actually just brush it off. The longer you go, you start getting character in it, and it has a bit of a marbling effect as it takes the grain of the leather.
You guys, look at this boot. Compare the new boot that he's holding compared to his boot that's already been shined. They painstakingly shine this thing before they ever wear it to where it looks like it has been worn for years. Look how much dimension is in that boot with the colors and the shine. Every moment that they've been putting into polishing this boot has been worth it. I can totally see why they put this much effort into the boot. This is gorgeous.
All those memories you make shining boots with your troop mates, each pair of boots kind of tells its own story.
I love this guy. Look at his mustache. I have always been a fan of a handlebar mustache. Is anyone out there with me? It's such a distinct look. Like, do you just wake up and go, I'm curses, foiled again, and decide to have like a handlebar mustache? I don't know, but I like it.
The red Serge is just one of those things that just kind of stands out as being as as Canadian as it can be.
That signifies to them that they're becoming a Mountie, because that is one of the iconic symbols that separate the Mounties from other police forces in the world.
All right, so this lineup picture that we've got here of looking at all the Mounties, it is breathtaking. They really do look cool. So here's one thing that I have wondered about this uniform that I looked up in the past for myself. It looks like they're wearing, it's the white string, if you will, that goes around around their neck and down to their waist. It looks like they're just wearing some corded earphones, but in fact, that's not what it is. What this is a string or a lanyard that connects them to their gun. So it is connected to their weapon so no one can grab and take their weapon, or if their weapon falls, it stays close to them. I have a feeling that in practice, it really doesn't protect them that much from someone stealing their gun, and it probably doesn't happen that much, but it is become part of the tradition of the uniform, so I'm glad they held on to it. I think it's cute, even though it looks like they're wearing a Walkman from the 80s. So what rating do I give the Canadian Mounties? Oh, I'm gonna give them 5 Reviewnicorns, absolutely. This uniform, although they've admittedly said it's not the most comfortable in the world, it is one of the coolest looking in the world. I love the jodhpurs or the breeches in the pants because it's just something so different that really makes them stand out, and I can't stop going back and looking at the picture. It's just generally attractive, even if it is made fun of a lot by Dudley Do-Right. So for me, this uniform is easily one of the coolest that I've reviewed. All right, guys, I'm ready for the next one.
Do you have what it takes to be a flight attendant for one of the world's top airlines?
No, I do not.
Singapore Airlines flight attendants go through 14 weeks of training.
14 weeks of training? Wow, that seems like a long time. I feel like I know flight attendants and they maybe went through like 8 weeks of training, something like that. 8, maybe 10. Yeah, 14 weeks of training is a long time. Let's see.
The longest in the industry. By comparison, U.S. flight attendants training takes about half the time. They start with 5 weeks of intensive service and product knowledge training. They master communication skills. They also learn about all the products on the plane. They even try all the meals served so they can make wine pairing recommendations.
So this makes perfect sense to me now. So if you think about it, Singapore is just barely in the northern hemisphere. So they are taking a lot of long haul flights. So on these long haul flights, the flight attendants would need to know all about the bathrooms and showers in there because they have those nice suites in there, serve several meals during the flight, as well as making up and taking up the bedding because people sleep on these long haul flights in kind of the first and business classes. So yeah, they have a lot to learn. So this 14 weeks is making sense to me now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Singapore Airlines.
You guys, I love it. I love this. Okay, so I've seen this uniform before and I'm just excited about seeing it so close up and really reviewing it. So I'm very much looking forward to getting into the details of this uniform.
스타일랜스 이용하시는 승객 여러분, 반갑습니다.
Tous les appareils électroniques doivent être maintenant en mode avion.
So we can see that the flight attendants are wearing a sarong that we can talk about in a second, a sarong type uniform. And then the male flight attendants are surprisingly not wearing a dark suit and a striped tie. And man, this bums me out because I think that this is a lost opportunity. You know, we just got to see all the beautiful and intricate colors in the flight attendants' uniforms. And I really think that having that on the tie would not only be matchy-matchy with the flight attendants, which you guys know I personally love matchy-matchy. So it's not just that it would make a cohesive look with the flight attendants, but I really think it would make something kind of distinctive and make them stand out. I mean, this looks like a tie that any gentleman could buy. So I really like a uniform having something that is distinct to the company and to the brand. So missed opportunity here. Singapore.
如果您需要任何帮助，请和我们的乘务员联系。
We're also seeing that the flight attendants have a lot of standards in their hair and their makeup. They've all got a nice swoop bang out of the face and a French roll in the back and bright red lips, which is something that I love that a lot of the international airlines require of their flight attendants. It makes them look very pretty and really polished.
Wir wünschen Ihnen einen angenehmen Flug.
So what their uniform is a sarong kebaya, and that is a traditional outfit that is worn by a lot of women in Singapore. And simply put, what it is that it is a blouse, a fitted blouse with a sarong skirt that is wrapped and folded in, pretty much. But obviously this one is different. They've really matched it up with the patterns and made it into a uniform. So I'm excited to look a little deeper and see the details that have been put into their particular sarong. Okay guys, I'm stopping so much in this video, sorry, but there's so much to see. All right, so the original uniform was made in 1968 by Pierre Balmain. And yes, this is the same Balmain that you see on the runways today. So that high fashion look was really what Pierre Balmain was giving them in 1968. And it is so cool that they're wearing the exact same uniform. I love it. Okay guys, one of the things that I love the most about this uniform is the 3/4 sleeve and the neckline. That neckline is so flattering, and now I'm seeing why. It says here it's a continuous strip of cloth, which is probably some type of ribbon, and it is folded and stitched with over 20 darts to create the pattern that goes around the neckline and to create that perfect shape. You guys, I'm telling you, that has to be done by hand, and that is a pain in the tush. So wow, I really had no idea that they got this specific and intricate with the uniform, but as I look at it up close, and I'm sure when you see it in person, you can really see the beauty and the quality of this uniform. I mean, it was designed by Pierre Balmain. What do you expect? Also down the back, we've got a hidden zipper. As it says here, everyone is custom made. So I love it that every flight attendant's got a uniform that fits her very well. And this is not easy to do with this type of print and trim to get everyone fitted and looking the same all the time. This is a design and manufacturing feat, trust me. So I'm sure the pleats were designed to give that folded sarong look where it's folded and wrapped, how a normal sarong would be, without actually having that function, because you wouldn't want to mess with that as you're working. So I'm sure that that's sewn in exactly how it says here, the accordion pleats, to kind of mimic that traditional look. And sandals. Singapore is probably close to 90 degrees all year long, so just having a sandal really makes sense. I've never ever seen an airline that has a sandal as part of their uniform, but I do know that they have a closed-toe shoe. That's an option as well. Okay, so there are 4 colors. We've got the blue, the green, the red, and the purple. This is really cool that this goes all the way from a regular flight stewardess all the way up to the in-flight manager. As you grow in your rank and your seniority, you get a different color uniform. I really like that. It's something cool that everyone knows. Just, I don't know, maybe give you a little more respect because you've been there a little longer. But also it gives a variety, but keeps everyone, I mean, they look the same. Like I've said before, they look like they're sisters and not twins. And so this is a really cool thing that actually gives you something to look forward to as a flight attendant, you know, getting that purple sarong. That's the deal, that's what you want. So how many REVIEWNIFORMS do I give the Singapore Airlines flight attendants? I'm gonna give them 4 REVIEWNIFORMS. This uniform has withstood the test of time. I mean, it was designed in 1968. It looks traditional, but it also looks modern, and it has done that for a significant amount of time. You guys, that's really hard to do. And then also I'm thinking about that neckline and the 20 little pleats and intricacies that they've done there. So I have no problem giving this one of the top spots with 4 REVIEWNIFORMS. But I took away 1 for the male flight attendant uniform because I really think that tie could have been a little bit cooler. Let's get with it. Give it some color. You know, the boys want to look great too, right? Okay guys, I'm ready for another one. Let's go.
You've probably seen a referee at some point in your life, and you may notice that the typical uniform of a referee consists of a striped shirt. But the reason for this design has a story behind it, in which a man named Lloyd Olds developed the uniform. Olds was a high school and college referee in Michigan, and the story goes that he usually wore white shirts.
Okay, so the refs wore white shirts. I can think of 2 reasons right away why that's probably the worst idea ever. Number 1, back then they were definitely playing on grass, and so I can imagine that a stark white shirt would get extremely dirty, especially with handling that ball and touching, you know, your uniform. But the second reason, and more importantly, is like, what if the other team has a white jersey? And I don't know. Seems like a very weird choice, but we're gonna find out.
However, at one particular college football game in 1920, the visiting team happened to be wearing white too. A quarterback had passed a ball to Lloyd.
What'd I say? I'm not just a pretty face. I got opinions and facts. That's why I'm here reacting. I got reactions, rants, rates. Rates? I don't have rates. I do not have rates.
Mistaking him for a teammate. And after this mix-up, Olds decided that stripes would be the best outfit choice to avoid any confusion. So we had a friend make him a striped shirt, which was worn in the 1921 Michigan State High School Basketball Championships. And soon referees from all over switched to the striped uniforms.
Well, that makes perfect sense. I like that he went with the stripes as a choice because the referee uniform is like the anti-camo. I mean, you are not trying to blend in, you are trying to stand out. So number one, they know not to tackle you. And number two, so that the officials can really do their jobs and be involved, but also be so recognizable that they're avoided.
Why do referees in football have these strings around their fingers? Let's learn. So the referees will keep these strings around their fingers to keep track of what down it is. A lot of times in youth and high school games, parents will be holding the down marker. So just to have another built-in failsafe, they'll have the strings around their fingers. That way they can keep track of the downs and not have to rely on somebody maybe changing the down marker in between plays or possibly messing with what down it is, so they can keep a track of it on the field, and they do it by using these strings on their fingers.
You guys, I never knew that. All the years I was a cheerleader and the many football games I've watched, I've always seen that, but never known why they had the strings on their fingers. This is so cool. Okay, so they just have one for the first down, and then I guess for the second one, you don't even have to use another hand. You can just move down and just slip another finger in. Y'all are children. Children.
I have money on this game.
Okay. This is a TikTok. I love a uniform TikTok. I'm already super excited. Let me go back just 1 second and see what this guy's talking about.
I have money on this game. Touchdown. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 94. He tackled the quarterback slightly too hard. That is an automatic disqualification. First and goal. Roughing the passer. Defense number 72. He put too much of his body weight on the quarterback. That is a 47-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
47-yard penalty, automatic first down for touching someone too hard. I love this. The point he's trying to make is that, dude, back in the day, and I don't know if it was before cell phones or what, but back in the day, you could get away with a lot more than you can today. Referees will do a flag on the play if a player has bad breath. I mean, that's how it is these days. So that's what he's making fun of, and I love it. More.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play. The receiver was unconscious for only 15 seconds, resulting in a non-target play. Unnecessary roughness on the defense. They did not give the quarterback enough time to throw the ball. Therefore, all 4 players will be suspended for 3 games with a $50,000 fine. First down. The ruling on the field is inconclusive. We only have 40 separate camera angles, so we cannot confirm or deny a catch was made. Therefore, both coaches will play rock, paper, scissors in the middle of the field to determine who gets the ball. Coaches.
I love him. They couldn't decide, so the coaches have to come play rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so that was super, super cute, but back to the uniforms. We've seen it a million times. It's something that everybody knows, and so there is a little part of it that is kind of American and kind of heartwarming, so I am going to give the referee uniform 3 Reviewnicorns. Yeah. Just 3 Reviewnicorns. You know what, guys? This is the first time I've really had to think really hard on a uniform of what rating I want to give it. And that's because I think that the referee uniform has just been done to death. I mean, you can go into like a kind of sport themed haircutting place, a salon. I think it's like Sports Clips or something like that, and that's their uniform. And you can also, if you Google referee uniform, you will definitely see 100 sexy referee costumes. Okay, now I'm changing my mind. We're gonna give it 4 Reviewnicorns. What did I say back in the day? You know you have a good design if people want to dress up like you for Halloween. So, scratch the 3, we're going to 4. And that's final! So guys, I want to know what you thought. Did you love the intricate look of the Singapore Airlines flight attendants? Were you as impressed with the red Serge of the Canadian Mounties? Or are you like me and you're just loving, not loving, kind of confused, kind of love it, but not sure about the referee uniform? uniform? I want to hear your opinions down below. Please leave me some comments. As a reminder, I'm a new YouTuber. I'm new at this, so your subscription and your comments mean the world to me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you never miss a video from Uniform Expert Reacts. And remember the most important thing, it's okay to judge uniforms, but not people. Love everyone.